Let's move on now. The President-elect of the 76th United Nations General Assembly and the Foreign Minister of the Maldives, Abdulla Shahid, met India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi. The meeting came ahead of the UNGA session in September, which Prime Minister Modi is expected to address. Shahid also met his Indian counterpart S. Jaishankar. The two leaders are likely to discuss the ongoing UN Security Council reform negotiations, including various bilateral issues between India and the Maldives. Shahid has expressed his support for India's permanent membership at the United Nations Security Council. This is his first visit to India after being elected to the prestigious post on the 7th of June. India was one of the first countries to support Shahid's candidature for the post of President of the UN General Assembly. Our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibil earlier spoke to Abdulla Shahid on matters ranging from his key focus areas as UNGA President to the future of the India-Maldives ties. Here's an excerpt.
Maldives has always believed that India is a special friend, that it has always come to us at the most needed time, irrespective of government in place. Either in Male or in Delhi, the special relationship has flourished. We look at the 1988 coup, terrorist attack on Maldives. India was the first responder. We look at the Indian Ocean tsunami, which totally devastated the islands. The Indian Navy was the first responder. During President Jammeh's time, we had the Male water crisis. The entire Male ran out of water. India was the first responder. So that clearly shows that irrespective of the government either in Male or in Delhi, the special relationship has never changed. When it came to this COVID-19 pandemic, India was the first responder. India made sure that when you rolled out the vaccine here in India, within 48 hours, the vaccine reached the Maldives and we started our rollout. These great acts of kindness, timely kindness, is remembered.
Our principal diplomatic correspondent Siddhant Sibil is joining us live now with more details. Siddhant, thanks so much for joining us. Now, the UNGA President-elect Abdullah Shahid has met with Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Tell us about the focus of discussions.
Well, the key focus during his main day of engagement, today is his main day of engagement, is on his upcoming presidency. His presidency starts from September, and interestingly, his presidency will see a physical meeting, an in-person meeting of the UNGA session in September. We know that last year it did not happen because of the COVID pandemic, but nonetheless, his presidency, he has been saying, is presidency of hope with focus on UNSC reforms, on how to deal with the COVID crisis, on climate change issues, human rights. These will be the key focus areas. And of course, he said that when it comes to UNSC reforms, that will be key priority. We know that he has backed India's presence at the high table at the UNSC. But this is a long bureaucratic process, and it is, of course, being has been stalled by the permanent 5 members of the United Nations Security Council. India has been saying that the UNSC should reflect the contemporary world, not a world of World War I, the world that emerged out of World War I and World War II as well. But the big focus, of course, during his entire visit is to engage with India. This is, of course, his first foreign visit after being elected as the UNGA President. And of course, India played a key role in terms of making and forming consensus, in terms of he getting the votes. He got 143 votes in the United Nations General Assembly when the elections took place.
Right. Now, Shahid also met his counterpart, of course, India's External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar. How will these meetings influence India's role at the UNSC as well as the India-Maldives relationship going forward?
Well, Shahid is also the Foreign Minister of Maldives, and even as we speak, the talks are underway between External Affairs Minister and Shahid Abdullah. At 7 p.m. Indian Standard Time, MOU will also be signed between the two sides. And the last time he visited India was in the month of April. The focus is how both countries can engage. In fact, India has been providing support to Maldives in terms of supplies during the COVID pandemic reliefs. In fact, Maldives and Bhutan were the two countries which were sent vaccines first during the start of India's Vaccine Matri initiative. And interestingly, when he spoke to WION, he also spoke about the campaigns, anti-India campaigns taking place in Maldives, which he dismissed, saying that this is, of course, being done by the fringe elements, and also talked about the security of Indian diplomats, assuring that Indian diplomats are safe in the country as well. But nonetheless, this is a strong relationship. This is a much celebrated relationship, and this relationship has seen a lot of positive development, especially security related, because remember, Maldives is at the heart of the Indian Ocean, and it is always keen to make sure that its exclusive economic zone is not violated, especially with illegal fishing, and that is something that was also touched upon during his interview with WION.
Right, Siddhant, thank you so much for all your inputs, and thank you for joining us on WION at this hour. WION World is One is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.